Hello, good morning. Do a sound test for me. Last week, toward the end of the video, I heard crackling again. And I was like, no. I did have the sound all the way up. So I'm thinking that might have something to do with it. So tell me how you can hear me. Can you hear the fan? Am I loud enough? Good morning. Okay, I will leave it alone. If you hear any crackling at all, let me know. I will unplug the battery from the... Well, good morning. I see everybody's been working on their sweater. I'm so glad. Okay, grab a cup and join me. This morning I have some... Oh, I'm back to cinnamon snickerdoodle. Great. Well, we have our normal D-stash today, but I made it a little bit different today, so you have your choices. And have a piece of jewelry. I have brought that book back out is what I did. I brought that book back out so you have a chance if you wanted to win that to try and win it again today. So Pete's Decaf must be a brand that you have in your area of the country. French vanilla. Why I don't like French vanilla? I think it's the vanilla. I don't like anything vanilla. And lemon. I don't like lemon. Although in tea it's okay, and on fish it's okay, but lemon in like lemon meringue and things I don't like. But we're not here for that. Today's jewelry is going to be a pair of earrings. So if you are looking for earrings, they will be later. There's a sneak peek. We're over 20 already, so I might as well just get right to our make-along. Chocolate caramel. Ooh. And it's sugar-free. How many hands watched the interview yesterday on Alicia's channel with Crystal from Bag O' Day? How many of you watched it? I was there lurking, and there were over 600 people there, and it wasn't on that long. I know. Everybody was there. It was quite. I guess I didn't expect her to go ahead and do that, but maybe because she's been reaching out and helping people, that's what she was, doing. I don't know. It was exciting to see her do that. I was shocked. This live is kind of like for make-alongs though. So, all right. I was going to talk to you today about the second part of the 3-way baby sweater. We are making it from a tutorial on the hooking is a lifestyle. Now, I do believe she changed her name of her channel since I started making that sweater. I started making that probably 2 years ago. Yes, she did. Yeah, she really did. Yeah, spring has definitely landed here. So last week I did part 1, and I showed you that pattern was done in 3 pieces. I've done it in several different yarns, and I brought them out here to show you today, the ones that haven't sold yet. Most of the time, people will see you know, a sweater or whatever, when they're looking for baby stuff. And I sold some, so I don't have like all the ones I made in this pattern, but I have a couple. The one that I was doing last week was done in the Soho velvet. Now I have done it in one other of these velvet crush, whatever, polyester yarns. I've done it and I have it here today. So I'm going to show that. This one is still very hard to hide your ends and things like that. So do I want to continue to buy this yarn and use it for baby stuff? It's soft and all, but it's a pain to use. So it's not, I'm not going to rate it as a 10. I'm not going to like run right out and buy tons of it, you know, but occasionally it's nice to use. But the other one that was like this was a lot thicker. This is more on the 3 side than the 4 side. The other one I'll talk about in a little while was a lot heavier. But I did the 3 panels last week, and now I have finished it. Fabric glue to keep your ends hidden. I never heard of that. See, now this is, I'm here to learn from you as well. Okay, so here's my sweater. I finished it off my way. Now, what I do is, after you do the panels and you sew the arms and this part here together, I go ahead and I flip it over. Oh, I add a hood if I'm going to add the hood. You do the next part that you do is you do the hood. So I put it on a hanger so I could show it that way, but I'm going to take the hanger off. So then you do the hood. And after you're done and everything, you turn it inside out and you sew that top part of the hood. So then what she does is she does a placard. What she doesn't do is change a color to, you know, or anything like that. So what I do is I start in the back and I go all the way around with a single crochet, all the way around the whole entire thing once. Then I go all the way around a second time, and on my second pass, I start right here and I do chain 1, skip 1, and I do 4 single crochets, then chain 1, skip 1, and do 4 single crochets and make my buttons, my holes for my buttons. And I usually only skip 1 because it's so stretchy, especially this yarn. Go back again, finish that row, and then I do a third row. Now this third row happened to be in a fun fur. So I go all the way around with single crochet, or if I want to make it thicker, single crochet, double crochet, every other, all the way around, even in those chains, and then finish it off. And this is really soft, and it has halo, so it makes it real soft. And so that made a second color. And then I put the buttons on, and then I did a cuff. I did single crochet all the way around the cuff to even it up. Then I did a single crochet for 4 stitches, and then 1 single crochet together. And I did four single crochets and then do 1 together. And it brought it down to about 15 or 16. And then another row of single crochet. So there's 3. And then the last row is, again, the fun fur. And then when I get all done, I had to match up what buttons I was going to use and if I was going to make it all fancy. So this one I put a pony on. I sew these on rather than iron them on. I have a fear of melting. But that is what I meant when I said, make it your own. So what I'm looking for you guys to do is finish yours with something fancy. And if you just do another color edging, it finishes it. it doesn't leave the edges raw. So if you've been doing this mini make-along and you would like to enter into this one with that sweater, I will be drawing a winner for that finished sweater, and they will win a skein of ice cream in the color Banana Split. This is a Line Brand 3 Light. And then they also will win one of my Daisy Stitch markers. This one happens to be in the pink one. So that is the mini make-along. Now, a lot of people have been starting this sweater and then entering it into the cuddle along. That's the collaboration with Stephanie from Stephanie's Yarn Escape. Well, if you've been following me for any length of time, I don't allow double dipping. So if my name is associated with make-along, chances are you're going to have to make another one of these sweaters to enter it into the other make-along. So just a little hint, you got to make 2. All right, so that was the finished one. And then I made a lovey to match, and I still have a skein of that left. And I think I'm going to make some more loveys with it because I really liked that. Now, this lovey is one of the ones where you do on a hair tie, and that'll be linked below. And it is a tutorial from Zelda NRJ, and I will link that below. Now, what she does is she does it on the hair tie, like 36 stitches, and then continues with the granny stitch. But on the edging, I always fancy up my edging. And a lot of people have been asking me, what do I do? Your single crochets will go in between the granny squares right here. Then you will chain 3. Then you will single or slip stitch rather in the second chain from the hook, and then chain 3 again. So that makes a picot. So you're going to single crochet, chain 3, slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, chain 3, and then you're going to single crochet in between the next granny cluster. You just do that all the way around. When you get to the corner, you'll do that in the same. So when you get to the corner, you'll just repeat it right in the same to make it point. And then that way you have a fancy edging. I just have to say something else about these. I also make them my own. This one I did not do. But normally what I do is I do a button plaque on the corner. And what that means is I do a little crochet tab, and I do the last section at the bottom with a double crochet so that you can put it makes a buttonhole. And then you put a button on it, and what you do with it is you loop it through your binky and button it. So the binky is stuck to the lovey. On the other side, I put a teething ring. I just crochet it right into the last regular row, and I use the heavy bone ones that you get from Amazon. I got a whole pack of them, but I sew them right on. So now you have a teething ring on one side and a binky on the other side, and I think that is just the coolest because nothing falls off. You don't lose it in the car and can't find it. It's stuck to the lovey. So that's my tip for the day. I'm going to show you the rest of the sweaters after at the second half of the show. Now, does anybody have any questions on that sweater? That's true, Lori. I have been working on contrasting colors and things like that, and building my stash so I have those extra things to just go and look for the buttons that match and things like that. Plus, I've been lucky enough to get buttons from people too, so that's fun. That tutorial, if you open up the description box of that tutorial, she has a website hooked into that will give you all sizes, I think 4 sizes, and the measurements. So what I would do is, when you first start your sweater, you're doing shoulder to shoulder. So what I would do is, the first time I do it, measure how far it is from here to here, and then write it down in your notebook. So that way you know what yarn you used, what hook you used, and what size the shoulders came out. And so that way you will be able to gauge your next sweater that you make from your finished notes. I know it's a lot of work to do that, but just one journal and work on one page at a time, just the item that you're working on, write the notes in there, and your comments on the finished and what you thought of it. And then just go on to the next project. It's just like a little remember what I did type journal. Okay, at this time, I would like to give away a piece of jewelry. I see all of you here this morning. Good morning. It's 52 in the room. I don't read the chat on a consistent basis. If there's any time you would like something brought to my attention, put a couple question marks before the question, and Deb will pick up on it if I don't, and she will get my attention. So the jewelry that I've been giving away every week is my inventory that I had built up when I was paparazzi consultant. And she also put the link for the pattern in there for you. If you have not started that, you still have a whole week before I pick a winner for that. I'll pick it here on the live next Sunday. And today's jewelry, now how you win the jewelry is, first of all, you have to have a United States address. You should be a member of my channel. And when Deb marks the chat, if you're interested in winning this, you have to be present to win. She will mark the chat. You will comment jewelry in there. And here is today's earrings. Now I'm hoping that you can see these and it's clear enough. As soon as she marks the chat, you can start. I found the animals in a couple places. Walmart is huge for animals. They have a ton of them. And they were $2.99. And I really, really liked that price. I thought it was great. So now that the chat is marked, write in the word jewelry. Now these are a very big earring. They are very blingy. So they're not for everyone, but they certainly are gorgeous. So that's today's jewelry giveaway. We're going to wait a minute and then we will draw for that. If anyone at any time would like to help with shipping, there is one way that you can do it, and that would be Super Chats. They are on. If anyone ever would like to help me, you do not have to. You never have to donate. You never have to send me anything. But I did add that just in case. These allergies are horrible this year. Okay, I think it's been a minute, Deb. We'll go ahead and close that off, and she will mark the chat. the girls will go back in the back. They will draw a winner, and they will get back to us. So in the meantime, I did want to tell you that the fun fur that I used on my sweater has lots of halo. Thank you, Jan. Thank you so much. You're always supporting me, Jan. All of that halo. Now, these are very hard to work with yarns. I would never make something out of this one specifically that was just this. Several times I got it hung up on itself. I had a knot. Oh, it's just a wreck. But I really like is to add them on the edge of something. It makes them very, very soft. Good morning, Chera. I don't always see, but the chat was almost stopped at that point, so I saw you. And it's too bad. You'll have to watch the replay because I just went over how you finish off the sweater like I do. And all my rounded edgings and everything are done by... so anyway, this is what I used. And this is something I got from Hobie, I believe. But it's a Mayflower. It's called Paris. It's 60% polyamide and 40% acrylic. And yeah, mayflower.dk. I've never heard of that website before. Manufactured in Denmark. Beautiful, beautiful, so soft, but a pain to frog, so you don't ever. Thank you so much, Ravini. Thank you. Thank you so much. So some of the content that I had planned today was to talk to you about next week's make-along. Next week's make-along Thanks, Lori. I am going to challenge all of you to do your very first pair of baby socks. Don't get scared. There's no need to run away. I picked the easiest pattern I could find. And I'm going to show them to you today. I knew that you guys were going to go, whoa. But do you remember what I do with that? Remember that yarn that I got the other day? Oh, I see it. It was the Regia sock yarn, and I gave 3 of them away in Addictions 49, I believe. They were just drawn for. Well, I took my colors that I got to keep, and I made a pair of socks. So here they are. Now, yes, you could say that this is a bootie, but they are really socks. Now, I did the size 6 months to 9 months. And we have a winner for the jewelry. Her name is Samantha. Hi, Samantha. Congratulations. Just have to get back with me with your United States address within a week, and I'll send that jewelry right out to you. Okay, so before you go crazy, we're not doing this today. We'll start it next week. The only homework that I'm giving you is to find some sock yarn. That's it. And either a C or a D hook. Now, I used a D, and it came out 6 months to 9 months. So if you want to go smaller, then you need to get a C. Okay, so that is your homework. Find some sock yarn or a fingering weight or a 1 fine and use or find a C hook or a D hook. And I'm going to show you the yarn I used real quick because this sock yarn came in this tiny, teeny little thing. And this is how much I had left. And the yardage on here was 115 yards. So it didn't quite use, I'd say it probably used 100 yards. In the description box, there will be an email, csterner9112@gmail.com, or Messenger. If you go to the Facebook page, you can find me on there. Anyway, so we're going to use some sock yarn. And your C or your D will get you your size. And that's it. Be prepared next week. You don't have to do them. I'm not going to give you the pattern yet. I'm waiting until next week because that's the way I want to do it. So, so anyway, the other little hint I was going to show you was, do you remember when I went to Michael's and I said, this wool-like is a beautiful yarn? Beautiful. Well, guess what? It is a fine one, and it's $2.99 a skein, normal price, but you can always get it on sale at some time or another. And that will work perfect for these socks. I'm telling you, I am going to use it. I don't know what color I'm going to do it yet, but I want you to make these your own when we do it. So I will get into that next week, but that is next week's challenge. So I hope everybody is going to join me for that. I really have horrible anyway, so that was a hint on what kind of yarn you can find for a decent price. And you know how many socks that'll make? It will go 678 yards. So you're going to get 6 pairs of socks out of this one skein. And then if you did the cuffs in a different color, you could probably get even more. So congratulations. I hope that if you're a brand new follower, that you just subscribed. I don't know her. I've never saw her on there before. So yeah, that's cool. Want to do the D-stash now? I think it's time. There's 51 in the room still, which is awesome. I'll put those earrings away. I hope everybody's enjoying doing the baby items, because I know it is a challenge, but you can try. No hurt to try. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give anybody who saw this pamphlet in my addictions videos that wanted to try to win this, I'm going to give you a chance now. So this is a crocheted Hurstners pamphlet, and the pattern is a boat looking like a cartoon version of Noah's Ark. Oh, well, maybe not Noah's Ark, but maybe a pirate boat. And it is a graph. So there's your graph real quick. And it has several pages of that. So you can see different things. I think the one is for the outline and one, oh, and there's a back too. So let's have my friend Deb mark the chat. And if you have a United States address and you'd like to enter into this, this is sponsored by me and only me. Oh, really? Nice. If you would like to win the pattern, just put the word pattern right now in the comments, and we are going to draw for this pattern because I am not going to be doing this, and I just like to share it with you. So we'll give you a minute to do that. Not everybody's going to want this pattern, but I know there was a bunch of you that wanted it. Ida, you have to write the word pattern in if you want it. I think you know that. Everybody's here this morning. There is everything on here too. There's the sun, there's the sky, there's the clouds. He's got a flag. This would be really interesting and very big, big pattern. I think it's been a minute, Deb. Go ahead and mark the chat. And then the girls will go behind and they will work on who is going to win that. And then, you know what? Not one of you has said a word about what Claire is wearing today. At least I didn't see you say anything. Yeah, this is a pattern I got in a mystery bag from Hurstners, and I just thought I would, I would share it with everyone else because I wasn't planning on doing it. Claire is wearing a capelet I've been working on. It's a knit capelet. It is not finished, but she had to wear it this morning because I took everything off of her and she was naked. That was my cell phone. I am not going to answer that right now. I'll call the person back. So what I've need to finish is, first, it's not blocked yet. And second, I have to put on the button, and I believe I'm going to use one of these toggle buttons because she says to crochet a little loop and then sew this onto the other side, and it just loops over. So that is the last part of that. I am in a small bedroom that used to be my daughter's, and I call it my closet. It's my yarn closet. So yes, I am in a special room that has yarn wall to wall. Well, it's got yarn on every side. Oh, okay. Well, yes, it is. It's the chocolate yarn that I was gifted from Lori in the Serenity, Premier Serenity chocolate yarn. So she is wearing that. And I will show this when it's finished in one of my regular episodes. And it wasn't any challenge that I did for any of you. I just wanted to do one more Outlander-inspired capelet before the cold weather was gone forever for this year until the next season. So that's what I was doing, working on. And I thought I should just dress her up. Samantha says she has 2 closets full and a wall in her bedroom too. That is great. You have a yarn stash to pull from, because when I do these mini make-alongs, I really would like you to just use your stash. And then if you have any difficulty figuring anything out, by all means ask me, and I might be able to come up with something to improvise. No, I did not. I have lots of that. I have enough of that chocolate to make another one. Yes, you only need, well, I had 109 yards in a skein, and I ran out and had to do 4 more rows. So I took 4 rows out of the next skein of chocolate. So that's enough to do another one. Deb says there were 18 entries for the pattern. I hope everybody has a yarn room of some type, or just a little corner, a little closet that you can go into and the whole world is put on hold, and maybe even watch YouTube videos while you're crocheting. That's what I do. Unless one of my friends calls me and says, hey, you want a video chat? That is what used to be that way in this room. But I decided I needed a table in the middle so I could tape in here and it would always be set up and I wouldn't have to do it every time. So I am going to show you a couple more of the finished sweaters that I did in this pattern. The first one I'm going to show you is the newborn size one. This one was done in, now here's another tip. This sweater was done probably a year ago. I'm not quite sure how long. But on all of my sweaters, I always add a tag with my business card on the front. And on the back, I fill it out with what yarn it is and how to care for it. Yarn Bee Light is this one. And it is, I believe, one of the Sweet Delights. Yes, it is. It's Gauge Boy. It's a green speckled, and it's 100% acrylic. So I'm not sure if that is the Sweet Delight. It might be a different one. But I did this sweater in that light. And this one, this time I did it in the collars, the second one, the second part of the 3-way. So as you can see, I still did my collar, my border the same, where I went around 3 times, went around the cuffs 3 times, but with this one, I didn't use a contrasting color. And it does come out newborn, and I mean newborn, because I did not change the amount of stitches. I just went up a hook and used the H. Oh no, the I. She always uses the I. I used the I, and it just came out a lot smaller. Not a ton smaller, but a little bit smaller than the purple one with the 4. So with this one, I made a matching hat out of a really easy pattern and pair of matching booties. And before long, you will know the patterns that I use for my booties and stuff if you know me. I use the Parker booty for a lot of my patterns. This is not the sock that I'm going to be doing yet. And they're cuffed. So that was the main part of this one, was that I did the sweater in a light 3, used an I, and it came out in newborn size. I have 2 more to show you. And the first one is done in this other velvet yarn. I found this one from Hurstners. I believe this was Premier Parfait. It is. It says right on the tag, Chris. Premier Parfait. Now, I've been talking about Premier lots and lots of times. I have told you I love Premier yarns. However, I do not like this yarn. I am not a fan of this yarn. It is the softest sweater, but it doesn't give a lot, because it's a 5 bulky. Now this sweater, it says it can be machine washed. I would be very careful. It says lay flat to dry. This is the cream colorway. It is very soft. It was very hard to hide your ends, and like Granny D said, she uses the glue gun. Or the glue of some kind. I've never done that. So this one I added a bunch of bare buttons because these holes are way bigger and you can get away with using bigger buttons. And then this one has a bear sewn on. A lady I know makes these for me. I haven't been getting a ton from her lately, but she makes them on her sewing machine and they sell them on Etsy all over the place. So this one is a little bit bigger. The yarn made it bigger. I did the same amount of stitches, the same amount of everything, and it made it just that little bit bigger. So we're up to 6 months now, 3 to 6. Now, what I found with this one was what I say, Premier Parfait. It stuff was coming off of it while I was working on it, and the ends were always coming off. Like when you cut it. So anyway, it's very hard to hide your ends. Appliques, iron-on decals is what I do to use the search engine on Etsy, and you will find them. And I do not iron them on. I sew them on. As you can see, there are very small little edges, and that is a very hard technique to learn how to do. What my suggestion is, take 2 pieces of material, cut one like it's an applique, and sew that sucker onto that waste material as practice. Just go around the edges like that and see if you can make a little section the same. That's all. It blends in. Try to use the color, thread or whatever. This one is not. This one is the cream color thread. You can see it, but it looks like it's supposed to be there. And that is really fun to play with buttons and appliques that match. What other question was there? Linda says she uses a needle and thread for the ends. So what you're telling me is you're sewing your end in place. That's a good idea. That is a really good idea. Yeah, I have a big darning needle that I use, but the problem is the yarn was so thick and slippery that it wouldn't actually tie in. So that would be the whip, like you're going around the edge, going down through the piece of material you want to sew it to, and going down and up, and then making that bar just overlap the edge of the item that you're sewing it on. So you're just going to go up and down and around and make little tiny stitches. But it does take a little bit of practice. So I suggest to take 2 pieces of material that you're going to throw away anyway, and then just lay it there and just give yourself a little practice at it first, because you're sewing onto an item that you just crocheted and you don't want to ruin it. The last sweater I brought out today was one I made this last December. It was done in the same pattern again, only this time I used latte cakes. And I did do a hood on this one. So this time the whole sweater has halo, and you might have seen this one. These, I did get these from Etsy. I had a whole bunch of them that I bought from Bonkers Buttons, I believe it was. But again, you can do appliques. You can put in the name Snowman Appliques and see what comes up. I just love him. I love everything to do with snowmen, and especially this dude here, Olaf. So I made this one, the same exact pattern. Again, I used an eye hook. And that was three rows of single crochet around, and then do the button like I described at the beginning. So today's video started out with how you do this finishing and to make this sweater look like this. So that was my fourth one that I brought out to show you today. Now, before we go anywhere, I want to do another D-stash. I had told Deb there was one D-stash today, and there is two. So, one more time, we are going to give away today. You have to be present. You have to have a United States address. And I am the only one that is sponsoring this giveaway. So today I have 2 skeins of this guppy from Willow. You know I love Willow yarns. These were in the mystery bag along with that pattern. So I have 2 of these. They are in Sandcastle. So Miss Deborah is going to mark the chat right now, and you will have a minute to let me know what you think of guppy yarn. This colorway is Sandcastle. I think I said that. Let's read about it. 3.5 ounce skein, 284 yards, and you're going to get 2 of them. And it is a 3 light, and it's 100% Draylon. So that's a type of what? Rayon or handmade acrylic type. So I'm going to mark the chat, or Debbie's going to mark the chat, and you can say if you would like to win this, the word guppy. And I will add one of my new daisy stitch markers. I ordered some new daisies because I was running out. And so today's is going to be one of the new ones. See, that one's just a little bit different than the ones that I've been giving away. So this is a big deal because you will be the very first one to get the brand new daisy associated with my channel. So there you go. And like I said, if you want to help me out with shipping, there is always a super chat available for you to grab and help me out. That all goes to shipping. I do many make-alongs and give away lots of goodies. So if you've been joining me on my Facebook group, you will know there's an announcement tab there. And there is probably about 13 or 14 announcements there all the time. I do a weekly update every week to tag people who have won things, and you can see what's going on by reading that every week. Okay, Deb, I think it's been a minute. She's going to mark the chat. And what we're going to do is, while Deb is off finding out who the winner is, we're going to open up the chat. Thank you so much, Sandy. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to open up the chat now for Ask Me Anything Within Reason. So if you want to ask me anything, let's hear it. That's the second D-stash today. No questions today? Okay, well, I can go then. Well, let me think now. Okay, what info do I get on the back of my tags? Okay, so to help me out and to help the person out, I had these tags made with my buttons on because I really like those. I had these tags made on that Vistaprint website, and I made front and back on my own and then printed them. So the back of my card, I put lines. I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I put 8 lines on the back of my card. And the first line says yarn. What yarn is it? What is it made out of? Right there is where I always write the word wool if it is any fiber that people could be allergic to. And the rest of the time I'll put like acrylic or whatever. But that is really important, is when it is not just acrylic. The second one has the colorway. So it says color, and it has 2 lines to write in all of these things. Then I have wash care. And I tell them they can machine wash, they have to hand wash, all of that goes in there. And then the last thing is the price. And I write the price because that way when I go to craft sales, because all of my stuff is for sale, I do have an Etsy shop. You can find all these sweaters there. I can put the price on there. So then I also add the tag with a piece of the yarn. Thank you so much, Shara. I have to do that all the time. She's such a sweetheart. I add a piece of the yarn that it's made out of. So this just zips right off, just as easy. It just turn it inside on itself through there, loop it, and then they keep the tag and they keep a piece of the thread or the yarn. And then what happens is they can say to me, oh, this is the yarn. Can I get more of this? It does help a little bit. It doesn't always work because sometimes you ran out of that yarn, and then you have to use some other yarn. But it's a thought. So I don't like lemon pie. So what is my favorite pie flavor? Oh boy. I gotta say, my very favorite is cheesecake with blueberry topping on top, or raspberry. Anything berry. What is the best 4-weight yarn you use for baby blankets? I don't really prefer to use a 4-weight. I like to use a 3 for baby blankets when they're done for a shower, because when you give them to the mother-to-be for a shower, they're going to be used when the babies are very young. And so I don't tend to use a 4-weight for that because they're too bulky and they can't use them in the crib yet and stuff. But a nice 4-weight, I guess, could be the ice cream they just came out with. The cakes that they came out with Premier, I think they're called sweet rolls. They work pretty good for 4-weight baby blankets. Not bad at all. But I really like the 3 DK colors with Premier. They're great. What else questions we got? Did I miss any? The skip one is for the buttonhole. Correct. I'm seeing all kinds of names today that I've never seen before. Welcome, everyone. Hi. Any other questions today? Did I miss any? Sandy asked a very good question. What is my biggest challenge when marketing your items? My biggest challenge is that I cannot keep up on inventory and all the different things I want to do. I want to put some things out for the kitchen because the price is right and something will be on the table that is cheap enough for the person that walks by your table, that sees you and loves that you do it and wants to buy something cheap just to support you. So you always should have something like the towels, the washcloths that are under $10. And so it's hard for me to keep that up because sometimes when I go to a craft fair, they will sell out immediately. And I always question myself, did I have enough on them? That's why they're buying them, because they're under $10. The other challenge that I have come across is I love making baby stuff. I love, love, love to make these sweaters or anything baby. And what'll happen is you'll get discouraged because you won't sell anything. You won't sell anything for a long time. And then when they finally need it and they have a shower coming up, they'll buy it all and you won't have any. It is a heck of a challenge, that is. So don't get discouraged. Keep it up. Keep putting them up there. Put them in the Etsy shop. It costs 20 cents to run the ad for this sweater for 3 months. So what does that mean? Well, for 1 year to run the ad, it costs 20, 40, 60. It costs 80 cents for this ad to run for a year. And what you can do with that ad is you can change the hashtags on it several different ways. You can take different pictures. You can use different pictures for the main gallery picture. You can do a lot of different things to try to get that seen by people. You can share it on Facebook. You can share it in your YouTube channel. And you could put it on Marketplace if you wanted to. That is free. What is your favorite sock yarn? Asking for a friend who wants to try baby socks? Well, I got to tell you, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try the wool like. It is a one fine, so why not? Why not? My favorite is for making little things like this is Hurstners, one fine, two fine, that kind of stuff. I really like Halo. The reason why I like Halo, a lot of people think I'm just joking around when I say it's got Halo. Why I say that to you is because all of the yarns that I'm talking about, I feel it first and then it's really, really soft. Why is it? Because it has Halo. That Halo is cushiony. And when you crochet with it, especially baby stuff, if there's a little tiny bit of Halo on it, now it's becoming so soft for the touch without adding anything. But you haven't even washed it yet. So now remember, when you wash it, it's going to get even softer. So that's my opinion there. You can buy a one fine baby fingering. That is perfect for what I'm talking about. So there are a bunch of baby yarns available in different places, and they are called fingering, which is also just perfect to use. It's a one for socks or booties. A secret about photos is I suck at it too. Absolutely stink at it. But the winner of the yarn today is Tina Brenning. Congratulations to Tina. Get me email within a week and I'll get your yarn right out to you. Thanks, guys, for playing that game. So was back to pricing your items. I'm going to just tell you right now, I don't take in account any sales. The person that is the non-supply, the non-yarny person, okay, is going to go out and look at something and say, wow, it's $10 for a skein of latte cakes? Yes, it is, girls. Yes, it is. It is $10 for a cake of latte cakes, okay? So right now you have $10 invested in this sweater, okay? Now, the buttons that you buy, you cannot buy just 3 buttons for 25 cents. No. You have to buy a whole entire package. That could run you anywhere between $2 and $5, depending on what you get. These are just plain ones. These came in a bag of 100, and I still paid $5 for them. So now you have $15 into it. This was a 3, I think she was selling them for $3.99. So now you have another $4 into it. Now, that doesn't mean I break it down that way, but what I do is I usually take into account the yarn. Take the amount of yarn, take the cake, that's $10, multiply it by 3, now we're up to 30. This I have priced at the $30 mark because I did not take that into account. I let it blend right in. So I have this piece at 30. So if you sold a whole entire set for $35, you cheated yourself, I think. I feel that you have, because now you're not even talking about your time. You have your time in here too. Yes, Karen, all the time. So yeah, every piece is priced specifically for that piece. Thank you so much, Cindy. Cindy, thank you. Thank you so much. So basically, I price my piece according to each individual piece. Yeah. I hope everybody enjoys the lives. I know I am having a great time. You will probably see this kind of a live continue this way with the mini make-alongs and the tips and that kind of thing. Mostly fiber content. I don't usually talk about much else. I do have to say goodbye today, though. And I thank you all for watching. I will be doing a 10 yarny questions. I was tagged in that. I will be doing that with Stephanie together on our duo show that we do, No Filter. It's a perfect thing to do that. Well, it does give out a notification. You just have to make sure that 10 a.m. on Sunday, you are already here. And then you won't miss it. So thank you so much for joining me. Congratulations to all the winners. And thank you for your super chats. I appreciate you helping me with my shipping. Take care. Talk to you later. Bye now.